Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your tribal god of the stream, Peter Joseph here for a late Tuesday night video right here on the Peter Joseph YouTube wrestling channel, youtube.com/Peter Joseph. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down below inside of my pants, otherwise known as the description box below. So, subscribe to all my channels, links are all down below in the gobbledygook down below. So do it now, and don't forget to leave a comment on this video or any one of my videos in the past, the present, and the future. Conan, do it now on this channel, my other channels as well. So all my videos from the past, the present, and the future, you can leave a comment on, but don't leave stupid comments, because those will get deleted, and so will you, because you will get sent to the Shadow Realm and pretty much never be heard from again, because Satan and Ozzy will eat your carcass and then your soul. So, you want to do it? Do it on somebody else's channel, or do it on your dead channel that nobody really gives two fucks about. But you ain't gonna do it on mine. If you don't like it, tough shit. That's pretty much it. But you watched anyway. Thank you for the view, asshole. That's that. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and don't forget to tap and slap that bell. Turn on all notifications so don't miss the next one, because if you miss anything, well, you know what you are, and you know what that means. I don't think I need to tell you. You missed it, you missed it. Too bad for you. And that's that. And for newbies out there, if you're watching at this late, well, not too late, but if you're watching at this time of night, or whenever you're watching this, and you're thinking about subscribing, if you like wrestling, or sports, or music, or movies, or whatever, then subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my other channels, show them your love and support as well. Leave a comment if you wish, but like I said, don't leave stupid comments, because you'll get sent to the Shadow Realm and never be seen again, and all that stuff. But when you do subscribe, as we say in the business, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax. You grab that cold one. I don't have one at the moment because I can't have anything to drink. Well, I can have water. Well, I don't have any water right now, but if I had a cold drink, it'd be right next to me. And I would sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And you could too. So, when you do subscribe, you can grab yourself a nice, tasty, cold one. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And as we say, welcome to the party, and we hope you enjoy the ride. If not, get the fuck out! And go fuck yourself. And that's that. It's simple. All you gotta do. And if you can't do that simple task, then why are you here? Why are you on the planet if you can't follow simple instructions? We'll figure that one out. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on this late Tuesday night, January the 13th, 2026, or if you're watching tomorrow, whenever you be watching us, it is now January the 14th, 2026, right here on the Peter Joseph channel. I'm Peter Joseph, your gracious host with the most, babe, and I'm a content creator talking about the wonderful world of professional wrestling, or anything else I feel like talking about. And if you like it, great, you know, go fuck yourself, like I said before. And that's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hope you had a great Tuesday, and I hope you have a great Wednesday, middle of the week, and pretty much almost near the middle of the first month of the new year. So, enjoy it. Gonna be cold here next week in the Northeast, so after tomorrow, pretty much after tomorrow, down the drain. Down the drain it goes, and it's raining right now, surprisingly. I didn't think it was going to rain today, but what are you going to do? At least it's going to be out of here pretty soon. Not going to be a big thing, and then see what the weekend brings, and that's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time after 4.5 minutes of spiel, but you still watched it, because you got nothing else to watch. You have to watch me, because you have to do your boring love screams. You know. Not anybody can laugh like that. Sound like an idiot. But I digress. But anyway, on your late Tuesday night, it is time for your late, well, pretty much late night not late, but it's late night NXT review for earlier tonight, right here, well, not right here, but on the CW11 for that Tuesday Night Delight. And that's it. Alright, NXT review for January 13, 2026. As always, we are emanating from the parking lot, or not so much the parking lot, but Nickelodeon Studios at the Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando, Florida. And as always, our commentary team, the man with creepy jacket, lots of candy, which went all over the place on this episode. I'll talk to that. Well, I'll let you know why in a minute. But the man with a creepy jacket and lots of candy, Vic Joseph, and a man who smokes more fucking weed than a lot of you combined. And that's the two-time Hall of Famer, the man who simps for pretty much every woman on the roster, and that's, oh yeah, man, oh yeah, the Kool-Aid Man, Booker T, sucker! Oh yeah! Alright, we got that. Alright, this is the aftermath of New Year's Evil, and now on the road to Vengeance Day. Well, not the date I thought it was going to be, but I'll talk about that in just a second. Alright, and NXT tonight was so good tonight. So good. Top that, Hunter. Pretty much. Alright, so we open up with a New Year's Evil recap, showcasing what happened last week. Pretty much the big one was, Oba! Who? Femi! The Buddha! Who? The Destroyer! Who? The Brilliant of War! Who? Vacating the NXT World Title after successfully defending it against TNA, excuse me, TNA X-Division Champion Leon Slater. He vacated the belt, left it in the ring, and then we see my cousin Tony D'Angelo looking on from the crowd. So we were supposed to hear from Ava Raine about what's going to happen with the NXT title. Pretty much right now, Vacant has it. The ever so popular man that he is, or woman, well, I guess he's a man, Vacant now has the NXT World title. Alright, so we open up in the ring, pretty much the men's roster, and even some of the people from Evolve are around the ring. Ava's in the ring with the NXT World title. And she says, there is no better moment than right now. But then, Absolute Ricky Starks, that's Issa's nephew, he comes out to interrupt, takes credit for running a lot of people around NXT. Well, not running a lot, but running out a lot of people in NXT, meaning people like Oba, people like Trick Willie, you know, and a few more like Jordan Grace, and a few more people like that. Javon Evans as well. So he pretty much ran a lot of people out of NXT, but he sees some future champions around the ring, and he's ready to get the title right here, right now. Now, he means now. Everything he said was gonna happen right now. But what happened then? I don't know, you missed it. Fucker. Anyway, and he was like, nope, that ain't happening. Why? Because we're gonna have a 6-way ladder match on February the 3rd, which is Vengeance Day. Unless they change that, but February the 3rd, which is basically 3 weeks from from the show, which is Tuesday. So qualifying matches will start next week. And then everybody gets in the ring. And then this big tall guy from Evolve. His name is Keanu Carver. I think we've seen him before on NXT for like a cup of coffee. And then he went down to Evolve for a little bit. He wrecked people down there. He comes out and holy fuck. He came out and took poor Eli Knight, who was in, we saw, on NXT in a mini tournament. I forget what that tournament was. It was a speed tournament for the men, which, Tavion won. We'll get to Tavion going against the Pasta Jasper Troy in a little bit. But he comes out, right? And he took Eli Knight, dragged him, woof, right into the crowd. I'm like, holy shit! What? And then he takes the the Vanity Project, Drake Jackson and the other two guys, chucks them into the ring steps, and he went ballistic. And nobody could stop him. And then, I forget who he put somebody through the table, and then you see, Vic Joseph's candy go all over the place. And then Booker T's like, oh yeah, man! Oh yeah! I'm like, shut up, Booker T, calm down. Vic Joseph's like, I can't believe he did that! My candy's all over the floor! I can't even eat it! Sucks to be you, Vic Joseph, you creepy bastard. So, holy crap, Keanu Carver basically is the new Oba Femi, as we call him, Oba 2.0. Holy shit, he sounds just like Oba. I thought it was Oba coming back to wreck people. I'm like, what the hell? But it's Keanu Carver as the new Oba, and he sounds just like him. If you haven't heard him talk, that's how he sounds like. He sounds like the ruler, the destroyer, the bringer of war, the Wakanda, pretty much. That was probably Oba's, nemesis back in Wakanda, I don't know. But if he's in this tournament, oh shit. Look, I mean, he goes, if he's in a qualifying match, he's going to win. Go on to the ladder match, he is going to destroy people. Somebody better call the morgue if he's in that match. Somebody better call the morgue. I don't think the hospital. I mean the morgue. He's gonna send people there. Shit. Alright, so we got that. So that opens up a wild start to NXT. And I gave that segment alone 3.5 out of 5 stars. Just amazing. So we get that. So like I said, we got a 6-way ladder match for the vacant NXT world title. And we got qualifying matches next week, which we'll get into a little bit later. Alright, so we go to break, we come back. Ava's walking in the back, she's on the phone with somebody who's gonna be at the show later on. We don't know who that is. And then somebody looks like Tony D, probably was Tony D, my cousin, walks behind her, and then Robbie E. Robert Stone says Blake Monroe has something to say a little bit later on. And oh, she said something. She was straight shooting, y'all. And a lot of the ladies who cut promos tonight, they passed promo school, or promo class, or whatever you call it. You can't cut a proper promo, get the fuck out of the business. Sure. Alright, we got that. So I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then we keep going. Alright, first match out of the gate, ladies and gentlemen, we go to the ladies, the beautiful ladies of NXT. And we got some hotties coming out, some cake in that ring, if you will. Keilani Jordan, Mrs. Him. Former TNA Knockouts champion, along with the Women's North American champion. She takes on Luna Vices. Oh yes, caliente. Shake that ass, mommy. And then shake that ass and then put it on my dick. But I digress. Alright, so this was it was alright. It was pretty good. Not great, but good. So it's also with Kaylani drop-kicking Lola off the apron before the bell even rang. The bell rang. It gets knocked out of mid-air as she comes back inside the ring. Then the bell rings, and they slug it out on the mat. Kaylani with a fruit roll-up for a near fall. Lola is back up with knees to the ribs. Ow! And then pulls her into something like a triangle choke, almost like Hell's Gate. Gets broken up with a grab of the arm. Go to the outside, where Lola gets kicked into the announcer's table. Hoi! Booker T and Vic are like in the war zone. So we go to break, we come back. Lola wins a slugfest. Another slugfest. Kaylani rolls outside before the sexy hip attack. Those hips don't lie. Booker T's like, oh, here it comes, oh yeah! No, you get nothing. Before that can connect, Kaylani then kicks her down, gets a near fall off a Eddie Guerrero frog splash. You like that one, Eddie? I thought it was pretty nice. It wasn't great, but it was nice. Okay. He'll tell you he does it better than anybody. I do it better than that guy, Rob Van Dam. Didn't you beat him for the Intercontinental title a long time ago? Yeah, pretty much I did. I kicked his ass. Some Eddie Guerrero. Okay. Calm down. It's late. I don't care if it's late. Well, it's late for me. You can stay up all night. I don't care. Calm down, though. Sorry. Alright, anyway, so Kaylani kicks her down, gets a near fall off a Eddie Guerrero frog splash. Goes for one of a kind! That guy, Rob Van Dam's move. That gets counted into a triangle choke again. And then a spinning angle slam by Kaylani. Really nice. Kurt Angle approved. Drops Lola again. And then Kaylani rolls her up. Right near the rope. And she tries to use the rope for leverage. 1, 2, referee's like, no, you can't use the rope. No. You get no, like Father Bah would say. So the match continues. Lola's like, hey, count up, 1, 2, 3. And then she turns around from looking at the ref. Boom! Right into that wicked spinning back fist. Eddie Kingston would approve. Pretty much everybody else who uses that move. Anyway, spinning back fist. 1, 2, 3. Lola Faces gets the win in a little over 11 minutes. Match was decent. 2.5 out of 5 stars. And that's that. Excuse me. And then after the match, Lola goes up to the camera and basically calls out the new Women's North American Champion, Izzy Game. He says, I'm coming for your title, Pena! I hope she wins. She's due. Just saying. But I don't think she's gonna win the North American title. I have a feeling she's gonna go up to the main roster, go on SmackDown to be with her man. That's Bobby Priest. But we'll see what happens from there. Look, Lola wins. You gotta love it. Moving on. Alright, then we get a promo from Tavion Heights, who's all ready to win the Speed title from the Pasta, Jasper Troy, who cuts his own promo, says, I don't think you're gonna win, dude. And we'll see what happens to that. Alright, so I gave that, the promo, 2.25 out of 5 stars. Then we get to the match for the Speed title. 5-minute time limit, as always, in a championship match. Regular matches, 3 minutes. Did I say 3 minutes? Pretty much. Alright. So the Pasta, Jasper Troy, shows off Tavion's wrestling attempts to start as a collegiate wrestler. And some splashes have Tavion rolling outside after about a minute in. And then the Pasta, Jasper, gets the hammer away back on the inside. And really, Tavion got no offense in. Barely. He fights out of a 1901 abdominal stretch. Seated abdominal stretch, mind you. Comes back with a basic suplex for a near fall. But Jasper Troy says, that ain't gonna work. And Tavion ran right into a abyss like all slam. 1, 2, 3. Jasper Troy, the pasta, retains the Speed Championship with about 51 seconds left. So, better luck next time there, Tavion. So, the Pastor gets the win. Match, 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then, after the match, as Tavion's trying to collect himself, we have the King, Lexus King, mind you. He runs in and he laid Tavion out. Whew. So that little feud continues. See what happens next week. And that's that. Alright, then we get to my girl, Maddie Winkowski, and her bestie, the Evolve Women's Champion, Kendall Gray. They're outside Ava Rain's office, but they get into an argument with Del Ruka, that's Delta, and the resident surfer girl, Sol Ruka, over who should face JC J next. So, on cue, Casey comes out and says, what do you girls want? Says, I'm in an important meeting here. So, they all go into Ava's office, where we see, former woman, Fallon Don't Call Her Dawn Henley, and Lainey Reed of Fatal Influence. So they all talk, and Ava announces that she's talked to TNA Director of Authority, that's Santino Malata, you son of a gun. Talk to him, and, we got a TNA Knockouts Tag Team title match coming up soon, but we're going to have a triple threat #1 contenders match next week. So we got Del Ruka defending against Fallon Henley and Lady Reed, and Maddie Winkowski and Kendall Gray. The winner of that faces the Inspiration or the Iconics, Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. That should be interesting. I don't know when that match will be. Probably on the next, not this Thursday's edition of Impact on AMC to debut, but probably the week after that. Then again, it could happen at Vengeance Day. Who will see? I don't know. They don't tell us anything. So, we'll see what happens next week, and that's that. Alright, so I give that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, we stay in the back. We see the King, Lexus King. He's there, and he talks to pretty much talks to Chase. Ew! Mr. Chase, along with Kale Dixon and Mariah Connors. And Mr. Chase like, that was a teachable moment in what not to do. Ray, when somebody tells you if you're a god, you say yes! I couldn't help it. Fuck you, Ray. That's what not to do. When somebody asks you if you're a god, you obviously say yes. I'm the metal god, I'm a tribal god, so. I'm not a god, but I'm a, because there's nobody higher than God himself, but, But I know more metal than you, and I'm your tribal god, because you must acknowledge me, like Roman, so. There you go. Alright, so it tells him this was not a teachable moment and what not to do, and then Stacks Mahomes and his hot, soon-to-be wife, Ariana Grace, and remember, Stacks is the Intercontinental Champion of TNA, so they come in, praise Lexus, and says, and he says something, and Lexus like, okay, I'll handle it. I don't know what it is. And then Chase U just leaves. Good. Boring. Get out of here. I don't know why they're still a thing. Should have left them back in 2025. Just saying. Alright, gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we're in the back. We're still in the back. Can we get to the ring already? Jeez. This feels like a TNA episode. A lot of talk and no action. you know, my ex-girlfriend Ashley Marie would say she'd be really mad. Because she copyrighted and has said, because I can say it because I copyrighted it too, a little less talk and a lot more action on TNA, or on NXT, or on anything really. So, let's wrestle, not talk for 55 minutes. Come on now. I didn't pay to hear people talk. I came here to see people wrestle. So anyway, we're back. Miles, they'll call him Ozzy Osbourne. Pretty much he's in the back, kind of pacing a little bit, and then Robbie E comes up to him after Robbie kind of scolded Lexis King a little bit. Says, "We don't do that around here. I'm going to Ava's office. I'm telling you." Was this 5th grade? Not even 5th. Like, was this 2nd grade? He stole my pencil! What the fuck was that? There was a little boop. I didn't curse, but whatever. So anyway, blah, 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 blah. So, he runs into Miles, they'll call him Ozzy Osbourne, who's like, "I want a qualifying match. I don't care how you do it, I want it." And he's like, "I don't care what you say. I want Ava to put me in this tournament." So Robbie's like, okay, I'll talk to Ava. Pussy. You pussy. Pussy. Alright, so we'll see if Miles gets a qualifying match. And we'll see what happens with that. Let me move on. Alright, so gave all that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Then we get a video for the newest superstar. We saw a vignette last week, but we get another one for the French luchador Idiots de Fleur. I can't do Triple H's thing when he was, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the pedigree himself. So basically, he will be debuting next week against this man. And we get All Ego Ethan Page, the Canadian national champion. He asked Ava if he can get a qualifying match himself. And Ava's like, "Nope. You ain't getting one. You're not in one. You will not get one." And basically, she's like, "Even if I change my mind, it's gonna cost you the North American title." So Ethan brags about his success. Ava's like, "Oh, you've done pretty well for yourself, but next week you're gonna defend that Canadian national title against the newcomer Idiots de Fleur." I'm like, really? They're gonna give this Hammenegger, this French guy, the fucking title? I hope not. Because then he'll become a French-Canadian champion. But we had French-Canadian champions before in NXT. Sami Zayn, French-Canadian, even though he's Muslim, but because he's from Saudi Arabia. Kevin Steen, French-Canadian. Chelsea Green, Canadian. Not French. I don't think she's French-Canadian, but I know she's Canadian. So, another possible French-Canadian luchador. Well, not a luchador. Well, he is a luchador, but Kevin and Sami. Well, Sami, if you think about it, is El Generico. So, technically, a second luchador will become a champion in NXT. So, we might see a title change next week with the debuting Idiots de Fleur. Sounds like a guy from a hockey team, like Guy Lafleur, the legendary Guy Lafleur. Still think he looks like a smaller version of Matt Riddle, bro. Just with the mask on. I don't know if he wrestles with his bare feet, but he has a good build, per se. We'll see what happens with that. I have a feeling Edith's going to cheat to retain the title. But then again, you never know what can happen in NXT and WWE itself. So, we got that. So, Elliot Lefleur is going to take on the Canadian National Champion, Ego Ethan Page. Alright, we'll see what happens with that. So, 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, then we see the lovely Blake Monroe. Oh my. She looked good. She comes out, and she cut one hell of a promo. She was straight shooting, brother. Straight shooting, brother, like Taz would say. She says, last week I was all ready to get my women's North American title back from Thea Hale, but instead I attacked her before the bell, because I could do that. And then everything was changed like she was the problem, but the reality is that someone as talented as her is always getting the narrative changed, pretty much. And it says, nobody compares to me, and everything I do has everyone in a frenzy. Facts. And, she's like, there are all kinds of stars, and then she gets cut off by the music of this woman, Ms. Parker! Ms. Parker! Ms. Parker! Jada Parker! Jada Parker! She comes back, she's back. I wonder why, I guess they didn't have anything for her, so now that Blake Monroe is here, it's like, hey, you want to have a feud with Blake? Come on in. Why not? So the fans went berserk. Big pop. I mean, big, huge pop for her. Glad she's back. And she says, oh, by the way, my name is Jada Parker. And then Blake's like, I don't give a fuck who you are. You interrupted me. And Jay's like, oh, really? And then they have a cat fight! And Jada sends Blake into the corner, and then hits that move in the corner with her ass, and then does the high step a little bit, and then pretty much hits the hypnotique, and Blake goes to the floor in a heap, and Jada's like, my top! Oh, sign me up for this feud. Sign me up. I know Jada's not going to win the feud, but sign me up. I hope this match happens next week. But we'll see what happens with that. But she has so much potential, and she really should have a title by now. I'm just saying. Or send her up to the main roster. I don't care where she goes, Raw or SmackDown. I think she'd do very well. I think she could be the Women's Intercontinental Champion, or the U.S. Champion. Maybe not the World Champion yet, but I think she'll get there. She'll have a couple title matches, probably won't win, but yeah, sign me up for this feud. Blake Monroe and Jada Parker. And we got that. Alright, so that I gave 3.25 out of 5 stars. Great segment. Speaking of great, we have my boy Shiloh Hill. Got some promo. Talks about bringing a bunch of flying squirrels into his house. And they were, I don't know if they're named Rocky. Bullwinkle! Hey, Bullwinkle J-Moose, hello. How are you? 50 squid, stupid meese. Boris and Natasha. Anyway, when he talks about that, I'm like, why are we talking about squirrels? Shiloh, being weird. So he talks about that and Christmas. Oh yeah, he wants the TNA Intercontinental title. Well, we're going to get to that match with him and Stacks Mahomes in a little bit. But this promo I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, after that, we get a boring video for Dark State. Bragging about their dominance as of late, winning the tag team titles, kind of getting rid of the Hardys and stuff like that. But it's just that no one is safe. Okay. Does that mean they're going to beat them themselves? I don't know. They said nobody's safe, not even them. I don't know. But anyway, I gave that 2 out of 5 stars. I can't stand Dark State. I can't. Deuces and Jokers. Whatever you want to call them. Boring. That's what they are. And I have a feeling they're going to lose those tag team titles to the Boricua Gangsters, Bronco Nima and Lucius Price. We'll talk about those guys in a little bit. That's that. Alright, after that, go to commercial. We come back with the TNA Intercontinental title on the line. Stacks Mahomes with his hot, soon-to-be wife, Ariana Grace, at ringside. Nice little skirt. As always, takes on man with a broken tooth. That's Shiloh Hill, or a young Bray Wyatt, because he basically looks like a young Bray Wyatt. Looks like you, Bray. I want to know, does Shiloh, do you want to follow the buzzers like Bray does? He might. Next thing you know, he'd be like, follow the buzzers. Love you, Bray. We miss you. That's it. Alright. So it's also with Shiloh jumping Stacks at the start, as a bell rang, but he gets sent into the corner. Stacks fights back, but he misses a charge in the corner, and Shiloh with an armbar, a basic armbar. Move number 1, armbar. Number 2, Fujiwara armbar. Like Jericho's 1001 plus moves of doom, whatever, you know. The list, the moves of Jericho, whatever. Anyway, so Shiloh locks in the armbar, and then an elbow sends Stacks to the outside, while Ariana Grace saves him from being sent into the barricade. That's what a real woman does. Saves her man. You know, I had that, you know, my hot smoking my Maria Brink, and then Rosemary would always, and Gary Sky, Rosemary, whatever you want to call her. She always saved me from impending doom. Even if it meant, you know, her going to the hospital a few times, but, you know, just to have to say my title. Anybody you gotta win. But we move on. Alright, so she saves him from going to the barricade, but Shiloh hits a flippy dippy-doo off the apron as we go to break, come right back, and as always, the heels come back during the break. Stacks runs him over for a near fall, but Shiloh pulls him into a tilt-a-whirl slam for a double down. So then Shiloh gets all mad, takes his little mouth guard out, and starts his comeback. A release butterfly slam gives him a near fall, but Stacks comes right back with a fireman's carry gutbuster. Oh, I thought it was Roddy's move, End of Heartache. Well, kind of looked like it, but or the gut check from Cedric Alexander. By the way, Cedric re-signed with TNA. I heard Steve Macklin might be re-signing. We don't know about that yet. The Hardy Boys have re-signed. There's a few that may or may not re-sign, but we'll see what happens with all that. So some might be going from TNA maybe to WWE or going to AEW. Because we know Jake Something went to AEW, and now his name is, what's his name now? James Doyle, something like that? I think it's James or John Doyle. And he's hanging out with Mark Davis. And, speaking of them, they're going to be in a fatal four-way match with, the Gates of Agony, I think the Bucks, and I think somebody else. And the winner gets I think they get a number one contenders title shot with FTR. I think. I gotta look up the card. Actually, I could look up the card for Dynamite. Let's do that. Little side note. Before we, Alright, so, we try to get this card, that's last year, I don't want to get last year's card. 1 second. I'm loading it. Alright, Alright, so we know that Maxwell Jacob Fartknocker will defend the Triple B title, the AEW World title, against the Ring of Honor champion Bandito, who won the Dynamite Diamond Ring. So last week with Bandito, Max tried to beat him up, tried to take the ring back, and then he hit John Cruz by accident. Whoops. And then Bandito took MJF out with a nut shot, and I think the 21 plex. So we'll see what happens with that. Kenny by God Omega, bang! He returns to Dynamite, so, tomorrow we're gonna stay up late, watch Kenny Omega, and... we got that. Hi guys, it's me, Darby! I'm sorry to wake you guys up at 2 o'clock in the morning, but I just want to let you know that tomorrow I'm gonna beat that piece of shit, Pac! I'm gonna do it for you guys because I'm fucking emo. Fuck you, Darby. Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, Darby and Pac one-on-one. Not in another traditional one-on-one match, which we saw. Pac won last time. So we'll see if Darby can get his win back or whatever. We got that. All right, we have a trios match for the ladies. We got the AEW Women's Champion Chris Cakelander teaming up with her best friend, the CBS Women's Champion, and one half of the AEW Women's Tag Team Champions. That's the Western Fun Girl, Willow Nightingale, Bam, and Holly Cameron. They take on the Sisters of Sin. Really, the Triangle of Madness, the Sisters of Sin, my girl Julia Hart and Sky Blue teaming up with the Spider Lady, Dekla. Let's see what happens with that. And also, like I said, we got that Fatal 4-Way match with the winner earning a future tag team title shot against FTR. Excuse me. So we got the Gates of Agony, Toa Leona, and Bishop Quan. I know not Quan. They take it on Jet Speed, Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. Taking on the Don Callis family of Mark Davis and Jack Doyle, or Jake something basically, and taking on the Young Bucks. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. That should be a fun match. Alright, so that's pretty much it for that. Okay, we don't have no time. Alright, so that's basically the card for tomorrow. Might have a little bit more tomorrow on Dynamite Maximum Carnage. So we see that. And also we got Maximum Carnage Collision this Saturday. I don't know if it's live on TNT, but I don't think anybody's going to watch it because you got the Niners and the Seacocks at 8 p.m., which is pretty much going head-to-head with TNA Genesis. What are you going to watch? I'm watching both. Fuck that. I'm not watching Collision until Sunday. So we get that. Speaking of Collision from last week, we'll talk about that tomorrow before we get to Dynamite. And that'll be on my main channel, Kill Demon 669. So check that out. Hit the bell so you don't miss it. Alright, so anyway. We got a break. Like I said, Stacks runs him over. But Shadow pulls him into a tilt-a-whirl for a double down. Shadow takes out his mouth guard and then starts his comeback. Release Butterfly Slam. Gives Shadow a near fall. Stacks comes back with a Fireman's Carry Gut Buster for a near fall. Shadow gets back up, goes to the outside, put his arm around under the Grace, a la Shawn Michaels did with... Shawn Michaels did that to Melina when Melina was with Eminem, Mercury and, Johnny Mundo. Eminem, you know what I'm talking about. Johnny M. John Morrison. Morrison and Mercury or Morrison, whatever you want to call it. And you can also go with Seth Rollins. Did Seth Rollins? Yeah, I think Seth Rollins did it. I forget the who. So get all that. But anyway, so he does that, and Ariana's like, "Ah, you slob!" So Shadow goes back in, grabs a small package, gets a near fall, and then he tries an inside cradle, but then Ariana Grace pretty much kind of, reversed it, even though I think it was in front of the referee. But anyway, so Ariana, pushes her man into reverse the pin. 1, 2, 3, stacks Mahomes, retains the TNA Intercontinental title in a little over 10.5 minutes. Match was pretty good, 3.25 out of 5 stars. And then Booker T, you fucking moron, saying, "Oh, he not ready, Vic. He not ready." What? He's not ready? He beat the fuck out of Stacks. What are you, blind? I mean, Booker T, stop smoking before the fucking show during the commercial break. I mean, you blind? I mean, really? No, let me say it like Bobby Heenan would say. Jannetty tried to jump out the window to escape. You saw that? What an act of cowardice. Are you blind? Not Bobby Heenan, I meant Gorilla Monsoon. He didn't need Jannetty. I knew he was going to do that. I just knew he was going to do that. He didn't need Jannetty. Are you blind? Tag team specialists. Fucking Jannetty. Fuck Jannetty. No, that's pretty much it. But yeah, Booker T, what were you watching, dude? Saying Shiloh's not ready? Good match, though. 3.25 out of 5 stars. And we move on. Alright, then we get the beautiful Izzy Dame, or Bookie Hogan 2.0, the new Women's North American Champion. She comes out with the rest of the Cuckling, Sean Spears, and Nico for a little chitty chat. And even though the fans are really pissed me off, saying, "Cut the mic off," she cut a good promo anyway. She welcomes us to the new reality of the division. She won't give us the same tired story about stumbling into success. And, winning the title is all about calculation, outsmarting everybody else. And she's like, "What did you think I was going to do with that loss last week? Cry and bitch and moan and bitch and complain and bitch and complain?" No, she's not going to do that. So Izzy says the Cuckling has always been about getting rid of the worst, and that's what we did. We got rid of Tam Paxley, basically. And she's like, I heard Lola coming for my title. He says, "Okay, Mamacita, you come for my title." And then, she says her name, and then says, "Anybody else, I'm not really interested in any of you, but if you come for my belt, you're walking into a trap." And then Tatum Paxley comes out, and referees are trying to stop her. That didn't work, as they get into a big old brawl. And then referees, had to back up Tatum a little bit more, but Tatum, I think she got spun around by one of the refs, and she went boom right in the face to one of the refs. I think she broke his nose. So he was like, "Oh my God, fucking shit!" That's gonna cost you some money. Shit. So we'll see what happens with Tatum and Izzy. Maybe go round 3 in a tree. I don't know. But that feud is far from over. And we move on with that. Alright, so I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, we go to the back. We have Absolute Ricky Starks. He's cooled off from the first segment of the evening. And is ready in the ladder match. Is ready in the ladder match. I guess he got a bye. Lucky guy, huh? So now we got 5 more. We're going to have 4 more qualifying. Actually, 5 qualifying matches. He's in the match. He didn't even have to qualify. Lucky guy. So you mentioned Shiloh Hill getting a qualifying match. He's taking on Josh Briggs. With which really doesn't kind of sit well with Stacks. I don't know why. I think Stacks gets a match. I forget against who, but anyway. So I know it's Sean Legacy and Eli Knight in a qualifying match. And Shiloh versus Josh Briggs, that's next week. And we'll see what happens with that. Alright, then Lexis King comes up to him and says, we should talk there, dude. About what? Don't know. Alright, so I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Alright, after that, we see, referees, pretty much, sending Tatum Paxley out of the building after, her knocking, whether it be on purpose or by accident, the poor referee. So, I guess Ava says, alright, it's too much chaos, Tatum, get out of here. So you are out the door. And then the Vanity Project, is now officially part of the NXT roster. That was quick. Like, a lot of people come on from Evolve. Keanu Carver, the Vanity Project, Eli Knight, Sean Legacy. I don't know about Sean Legacy, but, we'll see. Because Jackson Drake still has the Evolve title. Whether he loses it to, I don't know who. But it's nice to see Keanu Carver up on the main roster. Like I said, he's going to be the next Obafemi. The Vanity Project maybe going after the tag team titles. Jackson Drake could go after the North America title or the world title. And we'll see what happens with that. So it basically says we're ready to win. Blah, blah, blah. And then Keanu Carver comes in and kind of scares them off a little bit. And then he's like, leave me alone! Leave me alone! I'm the ruler! I'm the new ruler! The destroyer! The bringer of war! Get out of here! Blah! Knock the poor cameraman out. And then we goes to like, rainbow bars. I'm telling you, Keanu Carver is going to carve you up. Like the great Scott Hall would say. Chico, I'm gonna carve you up. Pretty much, we get that. Alright, all that, I gave 2.25 out of 5 stars. That's it. Then it's time for the main event of the evening. Anything goes match between Dion Lennox of Dark State and that guy named Below Average Joe Hendry. Bleh. Fuck him. Rest of Dark State, Saquon Sugars, Cutler James, and Osiris Griffin are there, along with the Buico Gangsters, Lucius Price, and Bronco Nemo, Lucius Price, and Bronco Nemo of OTM. They're out there. So it was a pretty wild match. They fight over a basic lockup to start. Joe Hendry gets the better of that, sends Dion to the outside. Leon fought back, gets a near fall of a basic backbreaker. Goes up top. Joe is right there with a superplex. Brings him down, go to break, come back. As always, the heels have to come back, and, heels take over. Joe Hendry fights out of a basic 1904 chinlock, gets sent into the corner a few times. Ow. And then Saquon Sugars puts a chair in the corner, because it's legal. So, of course, Dion goes right into it. Oops. And then the Buico Gangsters throw Joe Hendry some brass knuckles for a right hand for a very near fall. And then Dark State's like, okay, you want to throw in weapons? We'll throw in a weapon. A kendo stick. And then Dion starts beating on Joe Hendry. Whipping him like boom, boom, boom. And then Joe Hendry gets a stick and starts swinging for the fences. Hey, you can play for the Yankees. Because they can't hit. I digress. They signed somebody today. I don't even know who it was. I think it was a pitcher, but nobody knows who he is. Really, you're Yankee fans. Whew. You lost 2 of your closers to the Mets. You barely signed anybody. What a horrible offseason you've had. And you're probably going to lose Cody Bellinger to I don't know who. I know the Mets made Kyle Tucker a deal worth $50 million, which could go up to $100. So, Uncle Stevie's, opening up that checkbook with about a month to pitchers and catchers. Gotta get something done in the next month or so, next 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks before spring training starts. So, I think Tucker will be signed by the end of the week. Bellinger, maybe by the end of the week, maybe by the end of the month. If he goes to the Mets, that'd be great. I don't think so, but if you don't get Bellinger, I'd rather get Tucker. If you get Tucker, there's no way they're going to get Bellinger. I still think they need another pitcher. Because, they re-signed Peterson to a 1-year deal. Whether it be a number 4, number 5 starter. I don't know if they're going to keep... they're probably going to keep Senga, who's Mr. Brittle. Same thing with McGill. I don't know why he's still on the team. They should just trade him. He's just damaged goods like Senga. Throw him and McGill in a package for somebody. Well, whether it be not a free agent per se, like a trade. For who? I don't know. Trade him for prospects. Not that we need more prospects, but we're building back up that which was back then the Mets had an amazing crop of minor league guys. We all know Brandon Nimmo, Pete Alonso, people like that. Even Vientos, Beatty, Angel Pagan, Daniel Murphy, Ahmed Rosario, Ronnie Mauricio. Where did they come from? The minors, and most of them came from the Cyclones organization right here in Brooklyn. By the way, they're the champs. Gonna defend that title in April. Can't wait. I hope to go to at least a few games. I didn't go to any games last year, which is rare for me. Rare. So, but I'm gonna try to go to maybe a game or two, maybe in the summertime, probably maybe June or July. I'll go to a couple games. It's cheap though. It's like 20. I don't know now, but I don't know if did they go up? I think they went up because last time I bought tickets were like $15. So. Let me check how much a ticket is now. Yeah, it increased to $3 for advanced purchase. So let's see here. It just says single game tickets have went up $3. So I think it's about $20 now. And with food, that went up too. That goes up. Alright, let's see here. Alright, let's go for the first game of the season. April 3rd, by the way. That's pretty much almost 2 months away. If I can go to that. Why can't I go? Oh, it's probably not on sale yet. That's okay. Duh. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what. I guess I can't get the tickets how much they are, but I know they went up $3. I just. Let's see here. Wait, maybe I could. Why it won't let me. Alright. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna, hold on, guys, I'm sorry. I did not want to do that. Okay, here we go. Day of game. Well, if you don't get them before the game, day of game, 2 hours before first pitch. Ticket holds only $10. That's pretty damn good. Monday through Friday, 13. Saturday and Sunday, $20. So if you go to a weekend game, oh wait, that's not what I want. That's parking. Sorry. I thought that was tickets, but alright. Wait. Why stop loading here? I don't know how, I think I know they went up $3, but I forgot the actual price. Let me, I know I'm taking way too much time. I'm going way off tangent here. I'm sorry, but I wanted to look this up. Okay, here we go. One second. Well, if you get season tickets, which is like 65 games, it's 149 for one person, 229 for family, up to 4. If it's in select sections. Single game tickets for resale, starting as low as $10 up to almost $30, like on Vivid and SeatGeek. Average price is around $23 to $38. Prices increase by $3 for a day of game purchase. That's what it says. So if you get it on SeatGeek and not on BrooklynCyclones.com, they're about $10 to $30. Actually, Vivid Seats is between $10 and $30. Pretty much averaging 23 to 38. But expect prices to rise for popular games, day of purchase. So like sometimes theme nights and stuff like that, it might be a little bit more. But you can always go on BrooklynCyclones.com and get your tickets there, or go to the ticket office the day of the game, and if they have any tickets available, you can get them for pretty damn cheap. But and you can get Nathan's hot dogs, some French fries, some chicken tenders, and a nice soda for about $15, around the same price. A little bit up maybe. So you're spending about $40, maybe $50, just about. But it's a good time. Let me move on. Okay, let's go back to wrestling, and then we're gonna get out of here because I have to get up early in the morning. Not that early in the morning. I have to get up in another couple hours because I have to go to I have to go to the doctor to get a blood test, and then I have to go to physical therapy right after that. And then Thursday I gotta get up early, and hopefully get to where I gotta go. I gotta go to the city to do a meeting, but the train I gotta take is kind of a little wonky in the morning. Between 10 and 3 is the express train is going to be actually where I get off to get the train. So I can take the express train there. Just a little pain in the butt. It might be a pain in the butt to get home, because I might have to go back to the actual stop, and then the buses might get all messed up because the local train is not up till 3 o'clock. I think it's going to be with a. I think the local train, there's going to be a shuttle bus I think. I'm not sure. So Thursday's going to be a pain in the ass to get home. So I'm off tomorrow. I'm off Thursday, but I go back Friday. So short week this week, but back. And then pretty much I go in Friday, and then pretty much Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I got 3-day weekend because of the holiday, because of Martin Luther King Day, Junior Day. Then I go in the rest of the week. So. And I get paid on next Monday, but it is what it is. Moving on. Alright, blah, 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 blah. So I want to get this done. Alright. So we got a superplex. And then Saquon Sugars puts a chair in the corner. Dion rams right into it. And then they beat each other up with freaking kendo sticks and stuff like that. And then Joe Hendry hits a standing ovation for a near fall. Very near fall. As Dark State made the save, and then OTM and the rest of Dark State get into it on the outside. They go all the way to the back, so pretty much it's one-on-one. There's a table set up in the corner. Dion hits a spine buster on the chair. Ow! Joe Hendry pretty much no-sold it. Hits the standing ovation on the chair for a near fall of his own. Then a spear sends Joe Hendry through the table, which exploded. Boom! Not exploding, you know, like a Onito exploding tables, stuff like that. But it just, like, broke. I mean, it went everywhere. So he hits that, and then Dion's about to put Joe Hendry away with a chair shot. And then my cousin Tony D'Angelo well, he's busy right now. You know, my cousin Tony D'Angelo, my legit cousin Tony D'Angelo, who cooked me a nice chicken parm hero, was so good. And I only had to pay him $2, but you would have to pay my cousin $10.50. So Tony D comes in, cuts that off, lays out Dion with a chair shot of his own. And then does the same thing to Joe Hendry. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought he was helping Joe Hendry for a minute. I'm like, why would you help Joe Hendry? And then he hit Joe Hendry. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm confused here. Who are you helping? Are you helping Dark State? Or just yourself? Pretty much he helped himself and laid these two guys out. And then Joe Hendry just, like, somehow slouched over Dion. It's still no DQ. When referee goes 1, 2, 3, Joe Hendry gets the win in under 13.5 minutes. Match was wild and chaotic. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And then after the match, we see Ava Raine and some security guards come in. One of them was a member of season 1 and 2 of LFG. He got destroyed, and the other members of security got destroyed by Tony D, and Ava's just standing outside the ring. Tony D comes out of the ring after what he did, looks at Ava Raine. Ava looks at him. I'm thinking, oh boy, what's going to happen now? And then Tony D just slowly starts leaving, and Ava's just like looking at him. I'm like, uh-oh. I really like this mafia type Don, like really pissed off, almost like Craven the Hunter type gimmick of my cousin Tony D. He's coming for blood. And we still don't know who was in the restaurant with him. And supposedly whacked him or what happened. We still don't know what happened. I don't know if we're ever gonna know what happened. It's gonna be the whole who threw a pie in Kevin Owens' face. We still don't know who it is. I think it was Sami Zayn, but that's just me. I don't think we'll ever find that out. Remember when Tiffany Stratton had the whole daddy gimmick? And, you know, she was talking about, oh, my daddy told me about this and that. And everybody's like, who's her daddy? You know, they never did that. They just scrapped that. I was like, oh, come on, I want to know who her daddy was, besides myself, but they scrapped that idea. They scrapped the, they could have gone somewhere with Kevin Steen and who threw the pie at him. They kind of mentioned it maybe once or twice, but didn't go anywhere. I was like, oh, I still don't know who hit me. There's a couple of things that they got away from, and I'm like, what happened? Why do we stop? And this is one of them. What happened to Tony D in the restaurant? Kind of like a little Sopranos ending, which they did. You had Tony D in the restaurant, and then he just like looks up, and then the lights go out, like the Sopranos when Meadow comes into the restaurant after having problems parking her car. Hey, you should have called Nick Nemeth, because he parked the hell out of Issa's car. He could have parked your car, Meadow, but it is what it is. So anyway, yeah, they did the same thing with Tony D. He's in the restaurant, and then the lights go out. Oh, actually, before the lights go out, he looks up, he sees somebody, and then cuts to black. And then, you don't even hear a sound. What happened? Did he get whacked? Like Tony Soprano. Did he get whacked when Meadow came in, even though Tony was, like, looking at some guy? A couple of people looking at Tony? We don't know. And the creator will never tell us what happened. The people the cast don't even know. And we will never find out because, Paulie Walnuts is dead. Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini is dead. I think there's another person that was on The Sopranos has passed. And the only thing, we can't even get what happened. And all we got was a prequel. Like, when Tony Soprano was a freaking kid, before he started becoming the mob boss. It was good, The Streets of Newark, I think it was called. But, it would have been nice to find out what the fuck happened to Tony. Like a special episode that aired on HBO. Like afterwards, or maybe a month after, or a year after. Didn't get that. So I don't know if they're gonna do something with what happened in the restaurant with Tony D'Angelo. If he ever talks, I don't know. He's just coming out almost every week, standing he's standing in the audience. He's randomly freaking walking in the back. He's got a vendetta. So, and Ava better watch out. She might get whacked. But then again, if that happened, then you gotta deal with The Rock. So, if I was, my cousin, I wouldn't even think about doing that. But, I mean, he's his own guy. I can't do anything. This is woman on The Price is Right. Looks like Susan Lucci. A young Susan Lucci, when she was on those soap operas back in the day. Like early 1980s. Early to mid 1980s. But I don't think it's... Well, her face looks like Susan Lucci, the young version. She doesn't age at all. No, her name is Cynthia, and she's playing Cliffhangers. Bob Barker, and Diane, and Holly and Janice. I like how Diane. I think that's Diane modeling the paint can. Ooh, look at the paint can. Such a nice paint can, isn't it? Look at it. Look at it. Look at it! Not a paint can, it was a stain can. Oh well, sucks to be you. They have $18 for a can of stain paint, whatever you want to call it. 18 at the time. This is early 80s, mind you. Then she went for the vacuum thing. She said $35 when I was wrong. $8. $27. She said 35. She was off by 8. Let's see if she wins, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if she wins. Yay, she won! Purifier. Ooh, she said 30. Moron. I bet she was like $50. Huh? He kind of stopped. Well, he's going over. Bye-bye. You loser. Plop. $50. I knew it. I knew it. I should have been on the show. Oh well. That sucks for you. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am out of here. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with Tony D next week. We got the qualifying matches for the 6-way ladder match. So, Ricky Starks is already in. And we're going to get the next couple of people. I think we got 2 matches. 2 qualifying matches. That's Shiloh Hill and Josh Briggs and Shawn Legacy and Eli Knight. Whether another one gets announced or they're going to do it the following week, which is the week before the 6-way match, the 6-way ladder match for the title, that remains to be seen. So we're going to get the members in that 6-man ladder match. I think that should probably be the main event of NXT on February the 3rd. And then I heard something that Valentine's Day is going to be a pay-per-view. Not the greatest day to do a pay-per-view. Especially on a Saturday night. On Valentine's Day, people are going to want to go out on Saturday night to the nightclub or a nice fancy restaurant. You know, they don't want to stay home and watch fucking pay-per-view. Come on. Unless you want to you want to go to lunch. That's fine. Go have a nice Valentine's Day lunch. Come home. Maybe get the business done early, or you come home. You rest up a little bit, and then you watch the NXT pay-per-view in between having a nice, sensible dinner. Not a fancy dinner. You can have a nice, little freaking sandwich or whatever. And then after NXT, you can watch a movie on Netflix or Amazon, and then get the business done for Valentine's Day. Just remember, wrap up that burrito. Because Valentine's Day statistically is the day where men basically don't use condoms and pregnancies, jump. So, wrap up that burrito. Just saying. But I digress on that. But we'll talk about Valentine's Day in about a month from now. So guys and girls, think about what you're going to get your significant other for Valentine's Day. And that's that. I'm probably going to take Rosa to lunch. At a nice little, not a fancy restaurant, but go to a nice restaurant. Nice local, not a local restaurant, but, not one that's not going to cost me $300 just for the day. No. We did that one year. We went to a nice restaurant near us, spent $250. Good thing I had the money. And that's with tip, by the way. The whole meal, I think, was like 180, almost $200. I think it was, somewhere around there. So we spent around $200 to $250. Which wasn't bad. I had a nice chicken parm. I had some calamari. With a couple of Jack and Cokes. That's the reason why I'm a social drinker. On special occasions. Once in a blue moon. Once in a while, when I go to the bar for a concert or whatever, not so much at a venue for a concert, I don't have any beer or any, they don't have, Jack and Coke there. I'll never get a beer there, I'll just get a Pepsi or whatever. But if I go to, a nightclub or a bar, I'll have maybe 1, maybe 2 Jack and Cokes. Because I want to have fun. So I'm a social drinker. Not a full-blown alcoholic like some people I know. And even Rosa isn't like that either. She'll have me, once in a blue moon, she'll go over a little bit overboard, and I have to, keep her in check, but she's not a full-blown alcoholic, even though people say, oh, I have a video, you saying she's an alcoholic. You do know I wasn't being serious on that, right? You shouldn't take everything I say so seriously, so. So when I say I'm a social drinker, that's actually facts. Same thing with Rosa. We're both social drinkers. So, her a little bit more than me, but a tiny bit. But she can throw down when she wants to. Just have fun, but I have to remind her, be easy. And then you get home, and then she starts puking up the wazoo. And then when she feels better, she sucks, goes to town on my dick. But that's another story for another time. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. As far as NXT goes, great show. 7.5 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. And like Trick Willie would say, let's talk about it. That's that. Alright, my voice is about to go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, peace!